Hello everyone, welcome back to Foot Forecast. In today's video, I'm going to be going for my championship predictions for game week 38, and it's starting to get to that crunch time where games are so important in terms of sides getting promoted and if they will stay in the division. But we're actually going to start off with a game between two Welsh sides, between Wrexham and Swansea. And Wrexham go into this game in good form, but they did just lose their last game to Hull, which was a crucial game at home. Looking at Swansea, I've been impressed by Swansea recently. They've just picked up a really good win away at Pompey. They picked up a good win at Stoke. Vipomnic's on absolute fire, and he's the top championship goal scorer. And Josh Tymon continues to produce quality for Vipomnic up front. Looking at Swansea, I've been impressed by Swansea recently. They've been playing well. The problem is that because of the start of the season, it looks unlikely they'll be able to push into playoffs because they're still 5 points behind Wrexham, who are in 6th place. And the reason why they're playing well is because they've got the likes of Vipomnic, who's the championship top goal scorer. They've got Josh Tymon, who's ranked second for chances created. A concern, however, for Swansea is the away form. They're ranked 22nd place on the away table, so they're having their troubles away from home. And for this reason, I reckon Wrexham win this game on the Friday night. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Wrexham over Swansea. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Coventry and Southampton. Coventry are absolutely flying in the championship right now, and it looks pretty obvious now. Coventry are going up automatically, and it also looks very likely they're going to win the league because they're 8 points clear of Middlesbrough. Their form going into this game is also outstanding. They've won their last 6 games in the championship, so they're absolutely flying. Their home form is the best in the league by quite a distance. They're 3 points better than Ipswich, and they have played a game less than Ipswich, who is second place on the home form. So it should be a win for Coventry in this game. Despite me saying this though, Southampton's form going to this game is actually very good. They haven't lost since mid-January, so they could definitely cause Coventry some problems in this game and at least take a point. But I'm definitely going to go with the Coventry win. I just can't see a side taking points off them, especially at home. So for this reason, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Coventry over Southampton. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Borough and Bristol City. Huge frustration for Borough in their last game against Charlton, losing 1-0 at home in a game they really needed to pick up 3 points in, because they were definitely favourites going into that game. And their form up to that point was good. They picked up 2 crucial away wins, but then to drop points at home to Charlton must be so frustrating. And they desperately need 3 points in this game to remain in second place, because Millwall are now only 1 point behind Borough. Looking at Bristol City, there's definitely some concerns going to this game. They've lost their last 4 games in all competitions, and they're not playing particularly well right now. And as usual with Bristol City, they're just around the mid-table, as you would expect from them. Last year was a great season, but this year's been a disappointing season for Bristol City, not being able to build on that playoff push. For this game, I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Borough over Bristol City. I reckon this could be reasonably convincing. I think Borough really want to make up for that game after the defeat at home to Charlton. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Oxford and Charlton. As I just said, Charlton picked up a crucial 3 points away from home in their last game at Borough, which was a great result for them. And they also picked up 3 points at home to Birmingham. And they are just a difficult side to beat, Charlton. But they are going up against an Oxford side who have won their last 3 games in the championship, and they're showing some fight. They're still not above the relegation zone, but there's definitely signs that Oxford could definitely stay up and remain in the championship this season. In terms of what I expect from this game, I expect the low scoring encounter, as we usually get between these two sides. I expect potentially a 1-0 either way, and it's between which side do I think will win 1-0. And I'm actually going to go with Oxford. I think Oxford win 1-0 over Charlton. Definitely not a game that will be great to watch, and I think Oxford will win the game from a set piece, which will be another crucial 3 points for them, with 4 games on the bounce for Oxford, which will mean Oxford have won their 4th game in a row, and that should be enough to push them above the relegation zone. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Blues and Sheffield United. Most likely, both of these sides will not be in the playoffs by the end of the season. Blues are slightly more likely than Sheffield United, but chances are it's not going to happen because Sheffield United are 8 points behind Wrexham and Birmingham are 5 points behind Wrexham, and Wrexham have a game in hand. So it's a bit of a dead rubber game between these two sides, and it's more about rebuilding for the following season. In terms of how I see this game going, I'd see two pretty well-matched sides. I think either side could definitely win this game. I'm tempted to go with the Birmingham win in terms of home advantage, but I think I'm actually going to go for a draw between these two sides. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw between Birmingham and Sheffield United. These two sides are in similar form going into this game. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Leicester and QPR. This is a massive opportunity for Leicester to pick up 3 points because QPR are just a poor side right now. In their last 4 games, they've conceded 12 goals and they haven't scored a goal, have QPR. So straight away, even though Leicester are struggling right now, I would consider them favourites, and they have improved under Gary Rowett so far. They have managed to avoid defeats in 4 out of their 5 games so far. So there are signs that Leicester can stay up, and they now are above the relegation zone. But I mean, for a club like Leicester, that's very little to celebrate. They should be at the other end of the table. It's really that simple. But I actually think Leicester will win this game. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Leicester over QPR. I could see this being quite a convincing win. As I said, QPR is shipping a lot of goals right now. And Leicester are starting to score goals. They scored 2 goals against Bristol City. So I think they back up that good performance against Bristol City with another win. Then we're on to the next game, which is between Millwall and Blackburn. And going into this game, Millwall are definitely favourites. They're flying right now in the Championship. They're 4 wins from 4 games. And all of a sudden, people are looking at Millwall and saying, it's not a question about could they finish in the playoffs. It's a question of could they actually finish in the top 2. Because outside of Coventry, they're the only side right now that's showing some signs of consistency. And Millwall are just a really difficult side to beat, and they don't concede a lot of goals. They've only conceded 1 goal in their last 4, and that was away at Hull. They've only picked up 1 point, and that was an unconvincing draw at home to Portsmouth. And they're also really struggling in the Championship right now. They're only 1 point above the relegation zone. And I think they're going to continue to struggle in the Championship. I'm going to go with a convincing 3-0 win for Millwall at home to Blackburn. I think this will be an easy win for them in this game. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Norwich and Preston. Norwich are definitely the favourites going into this game, despite their injury issues. And the reason why I say this is because Norwich have picked up 4 wins in their last 5 games in the Championship, and they're playing really well under Clement. They've improved so much under Clement compared to the side that was struggling so much at the start of the season in 23rd place. Looking at Preston, I think they're crap, and their recent form proves this. They haven't won in their last 6. They've only scored 2 goals in their last 5 games. And I just can't see Norwich losing this game. For this reason, I'm going to go with a bit of a Norwich battering of Preston. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Norwich over Preston. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Sheffield Wednesday and Ipswich. And there's a bit of positivity to talk about for Sheffield Wednesday, actually, because they picked up a point at home to Watford. Yes, they'll be disappointed they didn't pick up all 3, considering that they conceded in the 90th minute. But that's at least something to be happy about, because up to this point, they hadn't picked up a point since the start of the year. But let's be honest, the points don't matter for Wednesday. It's just about surviving as a club, as I'll keep saying on this channel. Looking at Ipswich, this game away at Wednesday has probably come at the perfect time, because up to this game they dropped points against Stoke, which is a really disappointing result, drawing 3-3, and at home to Leicester, another disappointing result for Ipswich, and they have to win this game away at Wednesday if they want to finish in the top 2. This has to be a banker, and I do expect them to win this game against Wednesday. This is the guaranteed game of the season for basically every side. I'm going to go with a 3-0 away win for Ipswich over Wednesday. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Stoke and Watford. Stoke going to this game, they've been disappointing recently only picking up 5 points in their last 5 games, and they're just going to finish around the mid-table in the Championship this season. Looking at Watford's form's been mixed, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. In fairness, that loss was at home to Ipswich, but they had a really disappointing result away at Wednesday, which I just discussed, drawing 1-0, which is really disappointing for Watford. And right now it does look likely that Watford will have another season in the Championship unless they basically win every game for the rest of the season. Do I think they'll win this game? No. I'm going to go with a draw, I think, between Stoke and Watford. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Something that will definitely help Stoke in this game is that Sorba Thomas is back and available after his suspension. So that should help them get something from this game. So then we're on to the next game, which is between West Brom and Hull. And West Brom are showing signs of improvement in fight. They picked up a point at home to Southampton, which they'll be disappointed by the fact they didn't get all 3 considering they conceded late, but it's still a decent result. And then the point away at Sheffield United is a very good result for West Brom, but they still haven't won in 12 games. And because they were unable to convert any of these draws to wins, they're now actually in 23rd place in the Championship. They've actually dropped into the relegation zone. And they're going up against a Hull side who are in decent form. They picked up 3 wins in their last 5 games. And look, I think West Brom can get something from this game. It's quite similar to that Southampton game, but I do expect Hull to win. They just are the better side, and that's proven by the table. They're 5th place in the Championship. West Brom are down in 23rd. And for this reason, I'm going to go over 2-1 away win for Hull over West Brom. So then we're on to the next game, which is between Portsmouth and Derby. Portsmouth are 19th place in the Championship. Derby are in 8th place. 2 sides fighting at opposite ends of the table. I keep saying this about Portsmouth. I think they're a better side than the sides around them, but they just can't get themselves away from the relegation zone, and that's resulted in them only being 1 point above Oxford in 22nd place. But I think they're a way better side than the Blackburns, the Oxfords around them. But often they're having problems in the final third in terms of not having enough quality, I think, with a side like Portsmouth. And that's been shown in their recent results. Portsmouth haven't won in 4, despite being the better side in some of these games. Looking at Derby, they don't look great going to this game. They've only won 2 games in their last 6. And their away form's crap. They've lost all 3 of their last away games, despite being a very good away side this season, being 5th on the away table. But I think Derby will find a way to sort of nick it and win 1-0 over Portsmouth. I think this could be another frustrating game for Pompey. So that is the final game for game week 38, but I'm not done yet because I'm just going to quickly go through my predictions for the extra games we've got after game week 38. And the first game is between Watford and Wrexham. This is a crucial game. Watford probably need to win this game to have a chance of getting into playoffs. If Wrexham win this one, then I think they basically knock out Watford's chances of getting in. I think this game's going to end in a draw, a bit anticlimactic. I'm going to go over 1-1 draw between Watford and Wrexham. That's probably a good enough point, though, for Wrexham. I think they would take that over Watford away from home. So then we're on to the final game, which is between Southampton and Norwich. 2 sides in good form going to this game, but I reckon Southampton do win this one. I think the injuries in this game could affect Norwich in terms of their squad depth, not being able to rotate and sort of having options off the bench, which a side like Southampton do have. So for this reason, I'm going to go over 2-1 win for Southampton over Norwich. Let me know your thoughts on these championship predictions for game week 38, as well as the extra fixtures. And if you enjoy this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as liking the video.